So you guys might remember my April Fool's video where I said I was selling the Z3. That, spoiler alert, I'm not. But you might remember me saying that I'm never gonna sell my Z3 ever and that I wanna get this thing to 1,000,000 miles. And when I'll be honest, I've told people that in person and they've questioned it and they were thinking, why would you wanna drive this tiny convertible up to 1,000,000 miles? It's currently at 117,000. But today I'm gonna explain why. So let's get started. By the way, what's up guys? Hope you're having a great day.
I should also point out, no, I don't park with the roof off and the windows rolled down. When I got to the car, I just decided to roll down the windows and take off the top. Yeah. It always takes a few tries for the power locks to work, but eventually they end up working.
This is a cold startup on a 1998 BMW Z3. Where's the key? I forgot to mention the check engine light is still on, so yeah, let's go clear that real quick. Diagnostic tool. Alright, plugged in. Now let's connect it to my phone. Alright, and so now the OBD2 scanner is connected to my phone. Let's take a look at the codes. Alright, we got the P420, P340 as usual, so let's clear those out. Alright, all cleared, and now this is a cold startup on a 1998 BMW Z3. Sounds decent, and there's no check engine light, so yay. And I got outplayed by a Nissan Silvia. Yeah. So the first reason as for why I didn't, Hyundai Elantra N right there, but the first reason why I don't want to sell my Z3 was that I got it at such a good deal. To let it go at this price, it feels kind of sad because I got this car for $6,200. It had about 114,000 miles on it when I got it, and this car was maintained beautifully. Like the previous owner, he's a detailer, and he detailed this car meticulously. It was in amazing cosmetic condition. I'll be honest, I did kind of ruin it by just like getting it dirty, getting it wet, all of that. But I mean, for me personally, it's like I want to experience the car, you know? And that brings me to my second point, and that is that the Z3, it's fun. Like, it's a fun car. It doesn't matter if you're on the back roads or if you're just driving through the city. Because the thing with this car is, you can have it like sound really good, case in point, but at the same time, if you don't want to accelerate too much because like you're in the city, you can always just take the roof off, take the windows down, and just have fun with it, with the wind just blowing into your hair. And honestly, despite the fact that wind is getting in my mouth and all that, I'm having a lot of fun driving this thing. Man, I love this car, if you guys can't tell. Like, I truly do love this car. And how can I? Or how can I not? It's my first car. Look at that, i8 right there. Woo! So the next reason as for why I'm not selling the Z3 is what I mentioned right before the i8 clip, and that is that this car is my first car. And I think anybody with who's had their first car knows that like there's a certain bond you have with it. Like I have a relative who has a Honda Civic hybrid that's broken in a lot of ways, but she doesn't want to get rid of it. It's her first car and she loves it. And honestly, hey, I don't blame her. But on that note though, I'm a similar way with the Z3. Yeah, it's been broken a few times, but this car has a sentimental value to it for me personally. And I don't know how to feel about that, just letting it go letting it go, because like in 8 months that I've had this car, I've already done a lot with it. That I've met new people with it, I've traveled down new roads with it, I've had a lot of great memories in this car already. And for me personally, selling that would be letting go of those memories a little bit. And I don't want to see them go, personally. I know this is a bit more on the emotional side and all that, but I mean, with cars, it's something that, like, it has such a large amount of, I guess, control on emotions for me. Because sometimes they can be the greatest forms of happiness. Sometimes with this, like sometimes with cars, you don't really, you can have sometimes just a bad day, or you're stressing out about something, and when you're driving, you don't really think about it as much, and it doesn't really get off, or it doesn't really get on. Oh my god. Essentially what I'm trying to say is, my first car is the Z3, and it holds a special spot in my heart. And for me, cars are a very sentimental thing for me, and I love them. Yeah. And just like that, we've made it to, well,
A parking lot, to say the least.
I've met a lot of guys who've had Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and all that, but they still hold a special spot in their heart for their first car, and I'm no different. So, side note, when I tell people that I have a Z3, or I tell them I have a convertible, a lot of the times what I'll get is, well, why didn't you get something more practical? It only seats 2, it doesn't have much trunk space, things like that. And to that I say, why? Why do I need that? Because I'm not married, I don't have kids, I don't really carry around a lot of stuff in it. Like, obviously I know I carried groceries in a previous video, which if you haven't seen that, by the way, link in the description. But besides that, I mean, nothing major really goes into my car, and nobody else really goes into my car. Why would I buy an SUV or a sedan when this seats me just fine and it works just fine? It still runs and drives, it still drives greatly, and I'll say this, I've had more fun owning this than if I had a hatchback or an SUV or a sedan even. And the only reason I know this is because I had the Prius at one point, and with the Prius I just didn't really drive it that much. I let it sit around in the parking garage for a bit more, versus this car, I try to drive it as often as I can. Whenever I have the opportunity, I usually try and hop in it and take some time and go for a drive. And so the final reason for why I'm not selling this Z3 is because, well, because of you guys, actually. So I've had this Z3 since the beginning of my YouTube channel. In fact, the first video is me getting this car. And so I was thinking, hey, this Z3 has built up I guess a reputation, if you will, on my channel and even in the Z3 community. Why should I let it go? And I mean, yeah, I don't really see a reason to let it go, because if I do, there's not much to film in that case. And yeah, I want to keep filming videos. Yeah.
So I've been trying to hypermile a tank of gas on this Z3,
and this is my progress so far doing that. I'm at 188 miles on this tank of gas, and not even 3/4 done, which for me personally, especially with the aftermarket muffler, that is an accomplishment. I forgot to film an outro, but just like that, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I am sorry that it did get a little emotional throughout it, but yeah, I mean, I'm an emotional person, in my defense. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. Let me know how you feel about it in the comments below. Like, if you were in my position, would you keep the Z3? I got hair in my mouth. But yeah, if you were in my position, would you keep the Z3, or would you sell it and buy something else? And if you like what you're seeing, leave a subscribe. And just like that, I'm out. I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.